All right, we're going to begin our discussion of systems of equations. And a system of equation just means that we have two equations on the same grid. And so in our first example here, I have the equation y equals 1/2 x. My slope is 1/2 and my y-intercept is 0, 0. So this is the graph that goes through 0, 0. I'm going to label it as graph A on both accounts. And then this would be graph B. My slope here is 3/2 and my y-intercept is 0, -2. So this starts down here at -2. This is graph B. However, what I'm looking for is the solution to the system. And the solution is where the two lines intersect. So I want you to write that over here. The solution to a system is the point where the lines intersect. Okay, so the point, these two lines intersect at this point here, which is 2, 1. The next one, I again have two equations. This one here is, I'm going to label it as A. My slope is 1/2 and my y-intercept is 0, 2. So that means it's the one that starts up here at 2. And then this one I'm going to label as B. And my slope is 1/2 and my y-intercept is 0, -3. So it's the one that starts down here. And you should notice a couple things, first of all. My slope for both of them is 1/2, so that means these lines are parallel. Okay, since the lines are parallel, they never intersect, which means that they have no solution, which is a possible answer on the STAR test even. So if I give you two lines and they don't intersect because they're parallel, you would tell me that there is no solution to the system. And then I have this last example here. So I'm going to say this is graph A again. And my slope is 1/2 and my y-intercept is 0, 1. So it starts here at 0, 1 and it goes up 1/2. So this is graph A. And then I have graph B here, but you can't see it. And so what happens is if I were to distribute that, I would get 1/2 x, and then 1/2 of 2 is a positive 1. So again, my slope is 1/2, but this time my y-intercept is also 0, 1, so it's exactly the same. So this is graph A and graph B. They overlap. So when I have two equations that end up being the same line because they overlap, then the answer is all real numbers. The two lines intersect at every single point. And since they intersect at every single point, then the solution is every single number. All right, let's look at a few examples on the back. Find the following solutions by using a calculator. So we're going to look at number 1. And we're going to go graph it on a graph page. So grab your calculator. Go to a graph page. And you can type these in as relations. Or you could type it in where it says f of x equals. I'm just going to keep everything the same. We're going to use relations today. So y equals x minus 2. And then I'm going to push tab. And I have y equals negative x plus 4. Now I'm going to make my calculator a little bit bigger. I'm still looking at question 1 though, so I'm going to take up the whole screen here. And here are my two lines. And if I press menu 5, 1, like we're used to, I get to scroll left and right. And if I scroll right and it ends up overlapping with the red line, then I can see that my intersection point is 3, 1. So 1, 2, 3, up 1. Okay, so that's actually my answer to question 1. The solution is 3, 1, because remember the solution is where they intersect, where the two lines intersect. All right, let's go type in number 2. So I'm going to go back to my calculator, but my calculator is going to take up my whole screen. That way it's a little easier to see. Go to a new graph page. And again, I'm going to use relations today. So I'm going to delete my equal sign, get a relation. And I'm typing in the two equations on number 2. So it says y equals 3x minus 4. And then I push tab, and I have y equals negative 1/3 x plus 6. Okay, so I have my two lines here, and again, if I press menu 5, 1, and I just scroll until they overlap, I get to that point. So my lines overlap here at 3, 5, and I press the up arrow, it takes me to my other equation, my other line, but still where they intersect is 3, 5. So that's the answer to number 2. And then the answer to number 3, let's go graph that one. I'm going to get, again, a new graph page. And I'm picking a relation. I'm just typing all these as relations today. Y equals 2x plus 3. Press tab, and I have y equals 2x minus 4. And what you probably should have noticed before we even graphed them is that they have the same slope. So these two lines are parallel. And since they're parallel, they never intersect. So the solution is that there is no solution. Why is there no solution? Because they are parallel lines. They have the same slope. Okay? All right, I'm also going to show you on number 4 that you can still use your calculator, a graph page. So if I press Control Dock and add a new graph page, these ones have to be typed as relations. So x plus y equals 27. And then tab, and I have 3x minus y equals 41. And what you'll notice is that you cannot see either of those equations because they don't fit on the graph. And we could zoom out and we can still press menu 5, 1, and it will take us to one of those equations. But it's just not as easy as the first 3 that we did. So I'm going to show you a different calculator skill. So Control Dock, and we're actually going to go to a calculator page. So I'm going to write these steps down for you. To do these ones here, we're going to use a calculator page. We're going to press menu 3 for algebra, and then 2 for solve systems. So menu 3 for algebra, 2 to solve a system of linear equations. And we have 2 equations that we're solving, so we keep the number of equations as 2. We keep our variables as x and y, and we just press OK. And you get 2 boxes here. This first box is for your first equation, and the second box is for your second equation. You type it exactly the way you see it. So x plus y equals 27. Then you scroll down to your second box and you have 3x minus y equals 41. And then all you do is press enter. And it tells me my answer is 1710. So if you look right here, this part is telling you that my answer comes as an XY answer, an ordered pair. So my XY is 1710. So that's what I'm going to type here, 1710. And then we're going to do the same thing for number 5. I'm going to go back to the calculator. This time, though, I don't need to go to a new page. I'm just going to press Menu, 3 for Algebra, and 2 for Systems. Again, keep your X and Y for right now. And we're going to write X minus Y equals 6. We're going to scroll down to the second box, put Y equals 9. And then I get my answer of 15. 9. Okay, so I did write that down, 15.9. And now I'm going to go do number 6. Same steps, which are Menu, 3, 2. Keep your X and Y. And remember, you type it exactly the way you see it. So Y equals, and this time I need to start out with a fraction, because on top it's 4 minus 3x, and on the bottom it's 5. And then I can go to the bottom box, and I start this time with a fraction, 2/5 x plus 7y equals 1. And so that's a lot of typing, but press enter and it tells you your answer. And it doesn't matter that it's 2 fractions, 23 over 19, 7 over 95. That's your answer. So I purposely put one on here that you needed to use this for. Now if I look at the very last question, also make sure you write down your answer. Number 7, you could do this lots of ways. You could graph those and see which one matches. Or you could use the skill we just practiced, the calculator, Menu 3, 2, which is what I'm actually going to do. So, Menu 3, 2. I'm going to type my 2 equations, 3x plus y equals 15, and then negative 2x plus 3y equals 1. And I press enter, and I get the order pair 4, 3. I'm going to write that down. So my order pair here is 4, 3. That is the solution to this system. So if I were to plot that point, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, which two lines crossed at 4, 3? We'll answer choice D. Again, your other option would have been to graph both equations to see which one matched.